Market vitals, the levels you need to triage the market. I went old school, Matt. I went with the old audio input because my guitar is downstairs. Yeah, the meeting's being monitored in China. I understand. Thank you. Happy Hallows Eve, Matt.
All Hallows Eve.
Halloween. Halloween.
The evening before All Saints Day.
Yes. Hey, Matt, I one time had a fantastic Halloween at a venue in Chicago called I can't remember what it is now. Lincoln Park venue. Anyway, we went out. We had about, I was young, just out of college, so we went to the costume store, Matt, and we bought like 10 costumes. We had 10 guys ready to go out for Halloween. Ranging from a mermaid, a chick costume, right, to like Dino the dinosaur, and then we rock paper scissors, or we played euchre or some sort of game of chance for picks. And I, of course, had like about the last pick, and I was the frickin' mermaid. And basically, the mermaid costume was a tube. Remember the tube top? I say bring back tube tops. By the way,
oh, they're back.
Are they back in SoCal?
They're back.
Make tube tops great again. And I basically had a tube top on from my chest all the way down to my ankles, and on my ankles I could only scurry a little bit. Needless to say, I was on stage at this with the band, drumming the drums before I got kicked out. Great times, good time, Matt. How did you do, Matthew, on your college picks?
5-4, not the best, but again, that's, we had a couple strange finishes. Ohio State was getting beat until the last 8 minutes, and then they ended up covering the spread with a minute to go. Then they gave up a junk touchdown and didn't cover the spread. USC did not cover the spread either. They won, but not enough to push. So those two, basically swung it to about a break even, 5-4.
Yeah, 5-4. You still pay for the juice, and
free weekend. And then free weekend. Again, depending on what you got on the Bills, I got to push -10. They won by 10. So there you go.
Yeah, Josh Allen threw the bet away.
Right.
I mean, he had a couple brutal
again, just trash touchdowns. That's the problem with given double digits, but they were dominating the whole game. But I didn't watch any of it. But yeah,
I mean, speaking of
and then Phillies win the first game on the big comeback, and then it's all 1-1 now. So.
I have a beautiful Manja TV baseball shirt that I'll wear it tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
I'll wear it tomorrow. Fantastic. Nicole Safier, I think I pronounced that right. MD, a medical doctor. She said, my kids' school sent a note saying they can wear Halloween costumes to school tomorrow as long as they don't cover their face, because it will hinder the learning environment. I was waiting for the punchline at the end, but they apparently didn't see the irony in their message. I just thought that's fun to share on Halloween.
Yes.
Not so fun, Matt. We got to do it. I had this ready for Friday. We've seen increases in mortality across the globe, which is good for one thing, Matt. It is good for one industry for sure, and that's here on Hallows Eve, the people that plant other people. Bring up a chart. Who do we got? Who do we got in the dead man walking? I'm not dead yet.
I'm not dead. Bring out your dead. Let's go with Service Corps. They're in the dead biz, and low 33.91 up to 75. Still very bullish on this chart.
Love to be able to pick it up down there if we could get down there.
Value begins at 51.
Right on.
61 right now. And
do they pay a dividend, man?
They do 1.63%.
They're going to have to do a little better than that with business booming and the 2-year rate at 4, nearly 5. Yep. They're going to have to do way better than that.
I agree with you.
If anybody on the board at SCI is listening, you got to up your divvy. That's all I'm
And
saying.
then you brought up another one, just I'll bring it up, but this one doesn't trade nearly as much, and Service Corps doesn't trade that much either. Service Corps trades like 230 or 350,000 shares a day, but this is another one, Matthews International, and it's
Had
interesting.
a great buy. Great
Yeah,
buy.
just came down to the point of control there at 22.39, and again, you got to bring these up to me when they're hitting them, Bob. But you're a little late here.
I'm sorry. It was a theme. I was just going theme.
But it was a good theme. But no, this is why we do, and this is why you flip through charts and you do these themes. But not a sector I follow very closely, very lightly traded. This only trades like 21,000 shares. But the one thing I will say about Matthews is they do pay a fatter dividend. It's double Service Corps, so it pays a 3.25 dividend. So yeah, everything was lining up there. That was a nice buy down in there at 22, and it's already run up here to 27. So that's a big move. And
Yeah.
you know, but it just again, if you can pull back into that belly of that just a little bit more here, maybe you pick it up again on the bounce because you're gonna have some more participation. So that looks okay. Yeah, that's what I see there.
All right, let me share this. Matt, I had a conversation about why should we trust mainstream media and the people in charge?
Right.
And when you see this out of Christine Lagarde, I mean, I don't know how much money she's got to be worth, but it's got to be hundreds of millions of dollars, correct?
Probably.
I have no idea. And she runs the European Central Bank. They ran rates negative for years. And she says inflation came from nowhere. I didn't know inflation was a magic act. I didn't know that. I mean, if it came from nowhere, it's a magic act. Maybe we could get, Billy Zane or one of these great magicians to put it back in the bottle.
Well, government's never going to admit that government spending creates inflation, even though that's how it happens. But that's what has happened here, my dear Christine Lagarde.
What a gorgeous green scarf. I mean, it's just a beautiful.
Yeah.
It says she's only worth $6 million. I'm calling bullshit on that.
Yeah. Well, she's probably got another 500 billion hidden with Zelensky somewhere, so she's probably okay. They probably have joint accounts somewhere. Somebody should.
I met. Since inflation came from nowhere, you shared this chart. 30-year, again, we've talked about this, mortgage rates. Was 7.2 there, Matt? The last time we were at 7.2 was when?
Well, I think we were at 708, I think is what that was. But last time we were in the sevens was back in 2002, I think is what you're confusing there.
20 years ago.
Yeah.
So we've basically erased 20 years of easing in 4 months.
Yeah.
It's incredible. It's incredible. And again, back to we've had a constant thread here that this is a bear market and this is a bear market rally, and maybe the bottom's in for the rest of the year. It surely feels quiet. And by the way, the bottom can be in for the rest of the year and we could still be in a cyclical bear market.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it's interesting looking, like I'm going to just bring up the 2-year real quick because it pulled off significantly 465 back to about 428 and then found some buying. Now it's sitting back at the point of control right here around 445. Again, 445 over 405 on the 10-year. So still the spread, on the inverted curve is still going. Same with the 5-year, even still 27, cents above. So these 2 years are paying four almost 4.5 still. It's some pretty good money just for owning the treasuries for a couple of years. Again, if you want to own something, we suggested Philip Morris Friday and last week, and why wouldn't you suggest owning 2-year bonds right now also at these prices? So those are pretty good coupons if you got money that you just want to earn something. That's better than most real estate returns, by the way. So the pain has for sure started in lots of sectors in the real estate market, but it's unbelievable to me how much pain has not been felt yet. Yeah. Well, and speaking of pain, I got to talk about this because it's, I got to talk about it. Little brother, little brother going back to the pain trade, and It was bad. I mean, dude, you can't do that stuff. Like it was out of control. The Spartans were out of control most of the game, and Mel Tucker was out of control. He looked like he was ready to, punch in a door, and he did punch in a door after the game. So, you know, you can't have that. We can't have this in any sports. And it was a weekend. Like, I don't know, Bob. Just the common theme. Like this just shows me that people are angsty still. Like these are people that are playing an aggression game, right? And they're still wanting to kill each other after they get their butts handed to them the entire game. They were just rolled the whole game.
They certainly were. Yes, they were. They were never in the game.
Well, they took the lead in the first quarter, but I was like, okay, that's
Yeah.
going to be the last one you score because that was a great catch and shitty pass. You got lucky. Congratulations. But in Michigan, I mean, their field goal kicker outscored, doubled their offensive output on the little bro side, 15-7, by the way. So kicker beat your ass. So that's all I gotta say.
Oh, thank you, Matt. We let him have his piece. No, the world is tense, and
No, but then then you got the whole Pelosi. Who knows what's going on there? Nobody knows. Elon's getting in the middle of it, and this is the point. I think, and this is what they want to make it the point. And honestly, it's breaking down. We are breaking. The mainstream media has lied so much that it's broken, and people know it. Like they can't trust them, and it's just going to get worse, I believe. And unfortunately, the angst and the man on the street is not going to do anything. I have no idea, Lee. So I have no idea.
Hey, Matt, we've received several storylines, Twitter threads that the bottom's in, and we keep talking on this show in particular about, we haven't even seen bad news. Like the headwinds haven't really shown up in employment, in flows. And this chart really caught my attention over the weekend, talking about how this isn't 2000 or 2008, because both of those were in this 20-year, we just had the 30-year chart up, the 20-year slope of lower rates year over year after year after year after year. I mean, I still talked about it last. Does Amazon does Bezos able to do what he did if he didn't hit it perfectly in that 20-year cycle of easing, where his credit was just always cheaper the next year? He could refinance and get money out cheaper every year for 20 years. I'm not saying that the guy didn't do a great job understanding that environment, but we certainly aren't in that environment anymore. And this chart's pointing that in the 73 bear market, where there were rising yields for the entirety of the bear market, an inflationary rising yield environment, we still got another, by this metric, if we're going to match it, 16 months or so of a bear market. So just this is not like anything we've ever seen before, but it more resembles 1973 than it does 2000 and 2008. I just wanted to be a barrel of bad news here on Halloween.
Yeah, but I also want to kind of counterpoint that.
Yeah, please do. Tell me I'm an idiot and you're in long term.
No, I'm gonna counterpoint it a little bit, because October is ending today, and although we are down for the for the day currently, we are up the month, Bob. So we ended September. Where did we end it here? Let me give you a number here.
September closed in the S&Ps.
I'm looking at the NASDAQ, but it was somewhere around 11.1, and we're at 11.4. So we're green for the month.
11.035.50 the close.
So we're up 400 points, which is, about 4%. So it has been a good month for the bulls. And that bottom down there again in that middle, which is the date we talked about, we said we'll probably bottom there at the end of or the middle of October. So we were spot on with our cycle work there, and hopefully you've enjoyed this 3 or 4% swing to the upside that we've had since then. And then I wanted to look a little bit at wheat today because of what happened. Again, there's boats. We got a huge bump off of the Ukraine information today. And again, this type of information, I mean, what's your thoughts on this? I mean, you know, as a former pit grain guy, hear something about, you know, and this, we really haven't done this much lately. So all of a sudden they got a bunch of boats stuck and, you know, grain prices just spiked 10%, right?
So,
and it was sold hard, right? That's why I'm saying it was sold hard. It went from 892 to 854, but now it's back to 875. So what do you know, again, sell it again?
I mean, right now you got to let the news play out, but I don't know how you don't take a chance and sell the high end of that value. I mean, listen, no matter what anybody says, worldwide, people are capitalist pigs at the end of the day. And I don't care how you want to disguise it. At the end of the day, if there's a ship with several $1 million worth of grain on it, it's not going to end up at the bottom of the ocean most of the time. No, guaranteed, probably. So sooner or later, the price is going to affect people's motivations and actions. Right. They're like, wow, we stuck this ship, you know, for 2 weeks now, and look at the price. We're going to get a little bit better deal.
Yeah.
We renegotiated turning the engines back on.
Right.
I don't know. That's the way I feel. That news like that sometimes is the kiss of death both ways, right? Because if you were bullish, you were like, see, I knew it. And if you don't take the opportunity to take profits, you really regret it.
Yeah. So now we've got, again, you want to talk a little bit boxing, because you talked about it last week. So let's talk about Jake Paul. I didn't see any of it. I didn't even.
I gotta tell you,
until you told me this morning, like I don't follow the sport like you.
Let me talk about it, because I thought it's interesting on a couple of threads that actually run right through everything that we've talked about for a couple of years, and that is legacy. And by the way, the UFC now is a legacy. It's the legacy fight game. Like, it blew away boxing, right? It's taken over. It's had a 20-year run for sure. Anyway, Jake Paul, he wins, goes 8 rounds with Spider Silva. Now it's a boxing match, right? If this was a mixed martial arts, Spider would have kicked him in the face and killed him, I believe, even 20 years older than him. But my hat goes off to Jake Paul. He's a great self-promoter. And listen, people go see people fight not because they're interested in the personalities that are fighting. Dana White understands this. He has the complete control of everybody that's fighting in there. And so back to this thread of legacy institutions that are immutable to competition. And this is one thing I didn't realize, is that Jake Paul and Silva, who, by the way, made all his money in the UFC, is pushing Dana White to be, how about a little more friendly with the amount of money that you're making with all the fighters? Like, so there's this whole thread that I didn't even understand was in there about the money, back to Live Golf and the PGA, back to, you know, in the corporate world, the amount the corporate heads make versus the lowest guy on the totem pole. These things are evolving their way through many cultures, and I just thought it was, first of all, congratulations, Jake Paul, on standing in the ring with his childhood idol and beating him.
Right.
And by the way, taking shots. I mean, taking shots. A lot of people had Anderson ahead on the scorecard until he got knocked down. Anyway, I just thought I'd bring that up. That
so you're saying it was entertaining, you know?
And they made a lot of money. I don't think
did they actually get their 700,000 pay?
I don't think they did. I don't really know if they did, but they made a lot. They packed the arena. They made a lot of money, and they shared it with. I'm wondering how much Anderson Silva got of that take. Anyway, I just thought it was interesting that here's another legacy institution. And by the way, Dana White had been trying to, like, you know, play it down. He doesn't want competition, right? He doesn't want to. And I got to tell you, though, it's very nuanced, because a lot of people say he's been incredibly generous with his fighters and stuff. So there's an argument. And guess what? You get to have the argument. Back to the bigger picture of shutting down, you know, if you're in the legacy power structure, you get to shut down dissent. that's the bigger story too, that Elon is exposing here. Like, there's lots of voices, and people get to make the decision with their pocketbook, and they should make that decision fully informed with as much information as possible. My thought.
I like it. What's the next big flight that we need to be looking out for then on that side of things? Is there one coming?
There isn't one in my head, but what I do want to do, Matt, is I want to go back to Free Spoke, and let's do it. Let's go back to Free Spoke, man. Let me share, and I'm going to type in something that.
Yeah.
Hold on a second. Share your screen. Let's see what Free Spoke says, Matt, about. Let's try.
Let's try this. You know, over the weekend, you know, the Russians were coming out saying that the UK bombed the Nord Stream. Why don't you ask Free Spoke if the UK bombed the Nord Stream? See what happens.
Okay. Looky, I'm right on it. How do you spell bombed? Bombed Nord Stream. Let's go Free Spoke. Free Spoke that shit.
Talking about asylum, but
the middle, yeah. This is what I like about it.
Yeah.
They're just giving you different places to go. The left says there's no answers. The middle says Moscow has accusations that the Brits blew it up. Again, this is what search is supposed to be, right? It's supposed to be, here's what we can find, seemingly at odds with each other. You read it and you make up your mind.
Right.
And okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Not being told, it's amazing, you know, let's just say it, the Pelosi one in particular, immediately it was a narrative of what happened.
Immediately.
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 There was an immediate narrative. Yep. Like, that's not news.
It's all Republicans. It's all QAnon, blah, blah, blah.
That is not news when there's immediate, just here's what happened. Thanks for joining the news.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you, Free Spoke. I got to tell you, it's refreshing to especially to see it right away that their algo is already saying, all right, these guys are have portrayed themselves left-leaning, right-leaning, middle-leaning. However their algorithm is deciding that, that's fine. But at least you know that you're getting at least a couple sides of an argument. That's all. Yeah. That's all you look for. In fact, anytime I've been trading, especially on the floor where it was easier to seek out people's opinions, I didn't go to the guy that was like always bullish something if I wanted to be long it. I didn't look for an echo chamber for my trade. Mm-hmm. I look for somebody that, might have information that's opposite my trade. Yeah. Right. Yeah. And or an opinion that's opposite, or I see him participate or her participating in the market opposite. That's the opinion I want. I don't want my echo chamber. I don't want I want somebody to challenge my thought on something.
Right. I like it.
As you should. Right.
You should want to take the other side and explore that when you're, going along and looking at the same, that's why we use price discovery. Where would we like to be long? Where would we like to be short? Where do we want to do nothing? Right. That is what we want. So I think that's important. It's crazy. The pro football season is half over, Bob. Believe it or not. We're right at that 7-8 games, whatever it is, and they're playing 17. So, which means high school football is beginning their playoff seasons. So it's crazy. We're in November. We're in November. And
we are in November, Matt. And I just saw this little thread. We talked earlier about the 1973 bear market, right? Mm-hmm. And I went back to Free Spoke. I searched 1973 Chicago Bears, like I just wanted to see. I thought I remembered it, and I did remember it right. 3-13. Wow. Matt, 3-13. I'm not sure the Bears were ever worse than the Abe Gibron years. And thank you, Free Spoke, for bringing me back such fond memories as a 10-year-old. Just the worst That's why I was a Dallas Cowboy fan back at this time frame.
Because they were winning and they had Roger Staubach and
Yeah, exactly. I
thing.
wanted a participation trophy for watching a game.
Yeah, Dad, why do we have to be Chicago Bears fans? Believe me. I wasn't old enough to remember the Lions, but I'm sure they sucked in 1973. They sucked then, they suck now. So make the Lions suck forever. I think it's just and as long as the Ford family owns them, they're going to be bad. So Elon Musk, can you please buy out the Detroit Lions? It'd probably be a lot cheaper than buying Twitter, and probably could have a much more positive effect on Detroit than Twitter could also. So I'm just saying, throw that out there, Elon.
All right. That's all we got. That's all I got to tell you, man. I'm fighting a little bit of a head cold. I set a personal record with sneezes in the past 24 hours.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be honest here. I'm generally like a 5 to 7 sneezer, like it,
yeah.
And I must have had.
That's because you got to get your 17th booster right now.
I need something. I've been chopping up zinc tabs and snorting them. I'm not sure how that's going, but
maybe that's what's making you blink.
Yeah, I'm telling you. What's 50 times 7, Matt? Quick.
350.
350 sneezes. I'm gonna make that over under for the past 24 hours. Personal record.
Well, on a side note, we do have a movie playing out, as we know here, and we have an asteroid the size of, I don't even know what this means.
The Burj Khalifa. That's the big building.
There you go. The world's tallest building is zipping past the Earth tomorrow at 53,000 feet. So that'll make for
52,000 miles an hour.
Excuse me, 53,000 miles an hour. So that'll be, I guess, film at 11 on that one. So that'll be exciting.
You know what they did? NASA had Bill Gates flash his man boobs, and the asteroid decided to take another trajectory.
Well, did you see Melinda was out there talking about? She opened up a little bit about Epstein and the whole thing. It's starting to unravel. I'm just saying, it's starting to unravel.
All right. I'm not sure we have anything else to give
Auburn,
today. My head's in the clouds.
Auburn fired their coach after only 21 games. So War Eagles, again, looking for a new head coach. I think you should throw your hat in the ring. I'll be your special teams coach. I don't really want to work too hard. So just the special teams for me, for the War Eagles, I'll help you out down there. So once you put your hat in the ring for the Auburn job, actually, you know who's going to end up at Auburn now?
Who's that?
Neon Deion Sanders.
Yeah, I think somebody gave him some great advice, I think. He played it right. He's played this right. He's going to get a big time college football deal. And I hope he's successful, man.
I enjoy watching him, and I totally enjoy watching him. And as far as Lee wants us to talk about the Phillies and Houston, first game in Phillies. I'll take the Phillies. Why not? We're going to go full depression. Let's go for the Phillies. I don't really care. I probably won't watch it, but and then in the battle of the state south of the Michigan border, which I will not say the name because they don't like to say it. Who cares? The Bengals and Browns. Who cares?
Yeah,
don't care.
I agree.
Never care about those two. And again, the NFL is just full of mediocrity, with the exception of the Philadelphia Eagles. Anyways, I'm going to call for a. I don't think the Vikings keep winning, but how do they keep winning? They're 6-1. They're going to break hearts again up in the Twin Cities. That's all I got to tell you. They're going to. The Eagles will destroy them.
Who has Minnesota finishing the season 6-10? Like they don't win another game.
Wow. No, it would be 6-11 because that's
6 and a yo. 6 and a yo. Yeah.
6 and a yo 11.
6 and the yo.
I don't know, but the Cowboys are rolling after they beat your Bears even worse than they beat my Lions.
Let me ask you a question. Why do you send your best defensive player for a 4th round pick? You cannot explain this to me. Who is the best 4th round pick ever to play in the NFL?
Well, Tom Brady was a 6th rounder, so I don't know.
Well, I mean, I knew he was there somewhere.
I don't know.
But seriously,
That would be a free spoke question for you. You know,
yeah,
who was
like
the best
who's
4th rounder?
like, is there just
that's
great?
subjective.
Is there talent out there that's better than
Well-
your best defensive player?
Well, how about the hapless, Raiders? I mean, they didn't even get past half field in that game yesterday, and they lose 24-0 to the Saints. I mean, what is going on with, like, how bad? Like, how long are you going to hold on to the
They
quarterback?
need to go back. Well, they need to go back to Oakland. Let's just say that right away.
Well, they need to go back to Kenny Stabler and Fred Biletnikoff too, and and maybe Howie Long, because they're just a bunch of softies. And again, what's the guy's name? David Carr. Like, he's horrible. I don't understand why he's been in the league for as long as he had. He's been at best a 500 quarterback. I just don't understand. To the point, you're like, if you get rid of your best defensive player, well, why can't you like try your backup for a while? Because if you can't get past midfield, I mean, what are you doing? I think I could get past midfield. I just chuck it up and throw it to Devontae Adams. But that whole team's a mess now because of they're a bunch of head cases. I mean, it's bad. It's a bad scenario.
All right, Matt, as we leave, listen, we got the month rolling tomorrow, and
Right.
The Russell not only taking out closing higher than last month's low, but taking out last month's close on the Russell. So, I mean, very healthy, more healthy than it has been. Not very healthy. Very healthy would be like over here, closing an up momentum with upward slope. All right, this is more healthy than it's been, meaning closing with lower slope below the line.
And last time it did it, it spiked to the midline and then crumbled again.
Exactly. NASI not really titillating its upmo level yet on the monthly. They should get it right away this week, a test of that level. The SPOOs looks like they're going to open up above that lower momentum level on the monthly. And Dow Jones, we never talked Dow. Dow also, again, like the Russell, much healthier than it has been. So for me, looking at these charts, I don't see why the Dow on positive news, positive market action wouldn't go test this upmo level, 34,438. Russell, that level it's a lot further away, 2155, and the SPOOs and the NASDAQ are considerably further away than that. But yeah, I mean, if we're a 1973 bear market, we got a 1973 bear market rally coming. And just to give you an idea how far they can go, just to test those other momentum levels, the opposite. So let me just give it to you. The NASI is all the way up at 15,307, and the SPOOs are up at 4512-ish. So a lot of room to regain up momentum on a monthly in those ones.
A lot of room to get that done is what you're saying. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of work to get that done, and then could still be a setup.
But 4,200, again, we talked. We're kind of getting into the silly season, with and the silly season has an added component this year of midterm elections, right? So that makes it even sillier. And then we have Halloween, Halloween tonight. Then we got Thanksgiving. Then we got Christmas season. So really, I always say that kind of from Thanksgiving until mid-January is really the holiday season, from a trading perspective. And and right now maybe the bad news has been put backburnered until we can get through that holiday season. I don't know. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff going on here, Bob. And one of the things, breaking news. Speaking of breaking news, let me just throw this out here real quick, because you ask and you shall receive. Detroit firing their DB coach, so that's a warning for Dan Campbell right there.
Yeah, Dan got called in the office hard, and this is what he came back
with. Well, who do you want to go? Because it's either you or I gotta take somebody out. And he's like, we'll put Aubrey Pleasant on the line, I guess is what they did. So there you go.
There you go. All right. Happy Halloween, Matt, and everyone else out there. Be careful out there.
One thing, like seriously, like the Lions, I gotta say, like seriously, like if let me just do this exercise with you here real quick. You know, they're
By the
not.
way, by the way, in the
Like, look,
pre,
I want to point out the best team in the league. They lost by 3, but they scored 35. They scored 27. They scored 24. They scored 45. They scored 0 against the Patriots. They scored 6 against the Cowboys and 27. Just looking at those scores, I would say they should be 6 and what are they? They're 1 and 6. They should be 5 and 2.
or they could be 5 and 2 legitimately.
Well, I mean, they lost the 2 games where their offense sucked. Okay, so those are flat out losses, right? But every other game, you scored more than 3 touchdowns in every other game. You should have been a winner. And you score 45, you score 35, you score 27, you score 27, and you lose. It's bad. And again, 3 of those games, 1, 2, 3 of them all, and 4 of them all at home. All at home. Yeah, you better fire your DB, but I don't know, firing the DB, you better get some DBs. I don't know what the heck is going on.
What was the over under coming into the season? 6?
No, it was like 4 still.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Matt. Thank you, Lee. Thank you, Warren. Thank you, Mark, who's left us. We'll be back tomorrow.
All right.
Enjoy, Matt.
Peace.
Right on.